guys, Matty Graham here from Exponential Performance Coaching. Welcome back to another Whiteboard Wednesday. Now I want to follow up last week's video with a question I got. If you remember last week's video, I finished off talking about the load recovery adaptation sort of graph concept calculation. So I got a couple of questions just on, hey, what's this sort of whole thing about? Can you explain it a little bit more? So what I'll do is I'll take a step back and we'll have a look at it a little bit more in depth. So the performance equation is quite simple yet extremely complicated. So let's take a look at it on the surface. If you want to increase your performance, what you need to do is add a training stress to the body. And this could be in the form of, you want to increase your hill climbing performance, you need to go and climb some hills, and that by doing some hill intervals or climbing hills, you subject your muscles to more force, you subject your body to more lactic acid or lactate, and then you develop your cardiovascular system through the stress of oxygen deprivation or hypoxia. And that stress then stimulates certain adaptations to occur. And those adaptations can only occur during the recovery phase. And if you allow appropriate stress plus appropriate recovery, your performance will improve. If you don't allow the appropriate stress, so you don't train properly, you train too easy, or you train too hard, then you won't get the desired results. Or if you don't recover enough, or you recover too much, not doing enough training, then again you won't get the desired results. So we need to focus on the appropriate stress for the outcome that we're after, and also the appropriate recovery. So I drew a little diagram last week about our load recovery. So let's just have a look at that a little bit more in depth. So if you think of this as your current performance level, where you are right now today, how good you are, whatever it might be, whether it could be cardiovascular fitness, how fast you can climb up on a hill on your bike, how fast you can run a 5k time trial, whatever it might be. Now when we go out and train, we don't actually get better immediately. What happens is we actually get worse. Our performance decreases. And you could test this if you wanted to see if I'm telling the truth. Don't just believe everything I say. Make sure you have a look for yourself. If you test yourself, say 5k running time trial is a perfect example. If you go run 5k's as fast as you can right now, and then after that 5k session, you go for a training run. Say go run 10k's. And then when you come back from that 10k's, you try and run another 5k time trial as fast as you possibly can. You can guarantee that by the time you've got like 15k's in your legs, you're going to be worse off than you were at the start. So what happens is our performance decreases. We get fatigued, we run out of energy, our muscle fibers get damaged, all of those things. Now what happens at this point in our recovery is if we get our recovery right, we get an improvement in performance. And what happens is our body gets to a point, this is where we used to be, our body gets to a point and it says, I experienced this stress last time and I want to be better at dealing with it next time. So let's make some new things in our body that allows us to be better at handling it. So if you think of this as a long ride or a long run or a long paddle, and your body's been out there and it's got energy depleted, so it's run out of energy, and you've hit the wall essentially. What the body will say is, geez, I don't want to do that again, so next time let's make some more mitochondria, which are our powerhouses that make energy, so that I can not run out of energy again. So what happens is your body makes more mitochondria and you become fitter. Same thing if your body's experienced hypoxia, so it's a lack of oxygen getting to the muscles, The body says, man, I don't want to get in that state again. Let's make some more red blood cells next time so I can transport more blood to my muscles. And you become fitter. This here can only happen if your recovery process down here is looked after. And one of the key things for recovery in this window here is your nutrition. If you don't get your nutrition right at this stage, then this can't happen. Think of your nutrition as the raw ingredients, if you like, that your body needs to make the extra proteins, the extra enzymes, the red blood cells, repair the muscle fibers, restore the energy for these adaptations to happen. It's like taking your car to a mechanic when it's broken down and saying, here, can you fix this? But the mechanic doesn't have any tools, he doesn't have any spare parts, he doesn't have any fuel, any oil, he's nothing. He's just a guy there with his hands. He can't do much without the right tools, the right spare parts. So it's crucial that in this area here that you target your nutrition. That's key. Nutrition is one of the key things for recovery. If you get the right things in, you'll get this improvement. If you don't get the right nutrition in, what you'll find is you get a very slow recovery, and the body, because it's using its own resources, it's breaking down muscle fibre, it's accessing fats, making carbohydrate from its own sources, you'll only ever sort of get back up to baseline. Your body doesn't have that extra stuff that it needs to get this super compensation or this reset higher performance level. And then obviously the other thing that could happen is you just sort of stay down here whacked out and you get worse. So what happens now after we've recovered from that one training session, we go out and train again. And this time we need to train harder because our body's fitter. So what happens is we get another decrease, and remember, if you're these ones here, we'll do those in green so you can see. These ones here are going to drive the body down even further. And usually what happens is that if this person's trained again and they're doing the same good recovery, we get another super compensation. These people down here, you might come back up to baseline, which was along here. Might come back up to baseline, and then this person down here may stay down here until the next training session. So you can do the exact same training session but get 3 very, very different results. So you've put in the hard work, you've slogged your guts out, you've done hill reps, you've done intervals, whatever it might be. Then you get home and you don't do the right recovery, then you don't get the performance improvements. It kind of sucks. You get shortchanged. And then when you go out again, you put in another exact same training session, but you can get 3 different responses. And over the long term, if you keep repeating this cycle, you're going to get worse and worse and worse. And this is where you see athletes who train all the time, but they don't get any better. If you train, add that stress, and recover appropriately, you should improve. If you're not improving, something is wrong, either with the training or the recovery. It's not hard to get better. Follow this simple stress recovery, you will improve. It's just getting the people or the athlete to do the right training and then the right recovery. It's extremely simple, but again, it's extremely complex when you start to scratch the surface and look a little bit more in depth. So let's be smart about our recovery profiles. Train hard and recover hard. That's what it's all about. Put the good training in, get the good recovery so that you can get the good results. If you've got any more questions, keep them coming so we can make more videos to help you think smarter and train smarter